Welcome back to Game On, where we use sports and athletics to talk about everything related to mental health. As I'm recording this, we are at the tail end of the NBA Finals. Perhaps when you're watching this, the finals might be over already. One concept that comes up in basketball is setting the pace of the game. And it's really advantageous for the team to be the one to set the pace, whether they're up-tempo, whether they're more of a half-court type of team, and that's where their strength is. Whoever is the one that sets the pace, they usually have the advantage, and that certainly can change. You don't want to be the one catching up. You don't want to be the team that's reacting. You want the other team to be reacting to you. Now, one of my takeaways from this is how we communicate in different relationships, whether it's a professional relationship, whether it's a personal relationship, someone we live with, a family member, things like that. And there's plenty of relationships that aren't necessarily the healthiest. Sometimes they're toxic, sometimes there's passive aggressiveness, and people will find themselves sort of caught in this similar cycle and interaction, even though they don't really want to, and then they walk away feeling heavy and exhausted. And I sort of want to detach from this, but I don't know how to detach this. And it's almost like this helpless feeling. How do I disengage? And well, I think the only way to disengage is to be really aggressive, and then I'm going to have to deal with that guilt and then reacting. And we really underestimate how much we can do in a relationship and in any given interaction. We can set the pace of what we engage in. So whether that means not taking the bait, and if we know someone has a pattern of sort of using guilt, maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously, as a way to hook someone in, and if you become attuned to that and learn to set some limits and set some boundaries, and not in an aggressive way, not in a mean way, you can even understand them, I hear you, and not engage further, which will pull you into a guilt trip that will pay dividends to the nth degree. One little small skill may sound simple, but it's actually pretty valuable, is this idea called I statements. So if someone is being aggressive towards me, or someone is being mean, or saying things that really just get under my skin, or I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, simply starting my conversation, my sentence with the word I instead of you. I know it sounds so simple, but it's a real game changer. So instead of you're yelling at me, you're taking advantage of me, you are talking down to me, just say, I feel like I'm being attacked. I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. I'm feeling hurt. I know it's hard to be vulnerable, but to a certain degree, just saying what's going on. And the beauty of this is that no one can argue with you. If I say I'm feeling attacked, what's someone going to say? No, you're not. You're not feeling attacked. Well, I just said I'm feeling attacked, or I'm feeling hurt, or I'm feeling rejected, whatever it is. And that could sort of nip things in the bud. And if it's a person who cares about you, and I think even the people who are talking in a way that is hurtful also care about the person. Sometimes people don't realize how they're talking and the impact of what they're saying. By setting this pace, by choosing how much I engage. Now, sometimes it gets to the point where I don't continue this relationship because it's not helpful to me. That is a choice. Or how much I interact with them. And when they start to throw these things at me that pull me in as a guilt trip and try to make me feel guilty and wanting to do something when it's really inconvenient, and say simply, I'm not available. And then there's this layer of, well, I statements. This is how I am feeling. I am feeling talked down to. And you'd be surprised how much that stops it in its tracks of getting further in. And that is one way to set the pace of the game, in this case, setting the pace of the conversation, of the interaction. And there are so many conflicts that could be avoided, or at the very least, taxing exhaustion when it comes to social interactions that may be circumvented if we are the ones to set the pace. I hope you got something out of this. Have a wonderful day.